Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Hey, I've got a video for you guys today. Today we're talking about GROM. This is that GROM Ammo. Blaine over with Atlantic was generous enough to send some of this out for testing. I was fortunate enough to get a case of it. And so last weekend I shot 100 rounds of it through my M92, my Zastava M92. I took that rifle and I just set it aside. Wanted to see how corrosive it was, so I haven't touched it. We're fixing to look at it here in a second. But like I said, this is the GROM Polish ammo. And basically what Blaine wanted everybody to do was just test it, see how it did in their rifles. He wanted to see if this was gonna be viable for to start importing, start buying more of it. I think he wants to try to sell this for around 45 cents a round, if I'm not mistaken. My lot number is 34312. So I think all of the ammo that everybody's been testing that we got for Kalash Bash, I think it's all the same lot. So 34312. So again, a big thank you to Blaine. Actually, a thank you to Klay, because Klay gave me the ammo to test for purposes of showing everybody what to expect from this ammo. So there it is. All right, so with that out of the way, let's take a look at the M92. So last weekend I put 100 rounds through this thing, and I just set it aside when I got home. I wanted to see if it was corrosive or not. So let's take this apart and let's see what it looks like. All right, so that's out. Let me take this out. So I do have a K in this piston in it. And so right off the top, I can't see anything on this piston. There's no, doesn't look like there's any rust on it at all. So I will put, I'll take some pictures of it and show you guys some up close pictures of the KNS piston. So there's that. Let's see if I can't take this off to see inside. Okay, all right. Here's my gas tube. I'll look through it. So like I said, I don't see any corrosion on this. And this has been sitting around in the garage for like a week. And then lastly, I think this is where everybody sees the corrosion, is inside of the gas port right here. So just looking down into it, I don't see anything, guys. I don't really see any corrosiveness. So maybe it is corrosive, but at least in this Zastava M92, you saw that the bolt just came right out. It wasn't like locked or seized in. Like I've seen other videos where it's locked in place and they have to like almost get a little rubber mallet to knock it out. So I'm not seeing that. That's 100 rounds of the GROM that I shot a week ago. So let me put this back together. And then what I'm gonna do for testing, I haven't seen this, but I'm gonna do some accuracy testing with the GROM to see how accurate it is. So I've got targets set up downrange. You can see them down there. I've got targets set up, yeah, right there. 25 yards and 50 yards. And so I've also got, if you can see, I've got the little benches behind me. So I'm gonna see how accurate this thing is, because my plan is I'm gonna run through 500 rounds of it. 100 of which I already did previously. The other 400 I'm gonna shoot today. And then the remaining 500, I think I'm gonna use in competitions. And I'll just keep reporting back to see how it does in the competitions. So with that out of the way, let me put this guy back together, and then I'll take you over to the 25 yard, and then we can do some accuracy testing. And I have something extra that I brought along with me as a comparison. So stand by.
I get super yappy in this video, so feel free to skip around.
All right, guys, I'm at the bench. I've got the target set up downrange at 25 yards. And as I mentioned before, the surprise is that I'm also gonna run the same test through my Sig Spear LT. So both rifles are set up identically. They both have a 3x magnifier on them, both have a red dot on them. This has an 11.5-inch barrel versus the 92, it has a 10-inch barrel. Not much of a difference. So we're gonna do 2 tests, 5-shot groups on 2 targets. I've got the targets set up down there and they're labeled. So let's see how accurate this ammo can be. All right, actually, let me go set up that camera. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. The wind is horrible down there, guys. It's blowing the targets around. Not enough to change the impacts though at 25 yards or at 50. So let's get started. And I'm running a little sled to take all human error out of these 5 shots. Also have the smaller AK mag, so it's not touching the sled at all. And I'm gonna try to use as much as the sled. This sled lets you adjust up and down here at the front. So I'm gonna
Getting juicy.
all right, let's get started. Bam, here we go. All right. So my Zastava target is the top target. You'll see the shots. I've got a camera recording down there. All right, let's see. And I'm gonna use the magnifier so I can be super precise. All right, so looks like I'm gonna go for center target. This rifle was zeroed. It was zeroed with another round, and it does have a TWS dogleg rail Gen 2. It does somewhat hold 0, but I'm just worried about group size. So I'm gonna aim at the center target. I'm gonna take 5 shots. I think it's 5 shots in that mag, if I'm not mistaken. All right, here we go. Okay, that was it. So, same test, putting this off to the side, and I'm gonna use the spear. So, here we go. Let me get rid of this chamber flag. All right, chamber flag's out. I've got the same amount of rounds in its small mag. All right. Okay, here we go. And this one's gonna be the bottom target. So let me turn this on. All right, let me throw the magnifier on also. Exact same setup with the magnifier using the Spear LT. Yep, there we go. All right, here we go. Let me turn it down just a little bit. There we go. All right, Spear LT. All right. All right, that was it. Last round. That's it. So that's at 25 yards. So I'm gonna go up, I'm gonna look at my groups. Maybe I'll do another 2 sets just for science, and then I'm gonna back up to 50. All right, stand by. I'm gonna do a couple more sets, starting with the M92. All right, here we go. All right. All right, switching over to the spear. All right, I think that's enough at 25 yards. I'm gonna back up to 50 and we'll take shots at 50 and see how it does. All right, we're back at 50. 50 yards to the dot. 49.9. All right, we're gonna start with, this time we'll start with the spear. And we're gonna go ahead and we'll do 2 groups with the spear, 2 groups with the M92. All right, here we go. All right, that's 5 shots. I'm gonna aim at another target on the paper for another 5 shots. Here we go. All right. All right. Now, M92. All right, that's 5. I'm gonna choose another target. All right, well, I will take that data. I'll give you some MOAs at 25 and at 50 using the GROM Ammo. Again, this is lot 34312.
All right, so now I'm back at the house and I'm gonna do the MOAs, starting off with the Zastava M92 at 25 yards. Shot 2 groups. So I've got my calipers. So in the center, I'm getting 1.8 MOA on the center piece here. So this was 1.8. Okay, and then on this one, man, I guess this is the furthest one, right? This is the furthest one. 1 point. Man, so both of these are 1.8. And this is at 25 yards with the GROM Ammo. All right, let's look at the 50 yard. Also Zastava. All right, 50 yard Zastava. Let's see, let me put it right there. All right, 50 yard Zastava. This one's gonna be kind of weird because the shots are corner and corner. All right, so there we go. That's 50 yards. So 50 yards, I think this was a flyer. So I have the furthest, or is this shot up here? So this one is 2.9. So 2.9 there. And then I had this group down here. Let me make sure it's still in the frame. Yeah, it's still in the frame. All right, and the furthest, this one was the furthest. Okay, so this was 4.3. 4.3. This is a, I was on the bench, so I feel pretty good about the shots. 2.9, 4.3, ignore this is a flyer. All right, so that was a Zastava Sig Spear LT. Okay, let me make sure you guys can see this. Okay, yep, that's good. All right, so my group in the center, I think this is gonna be the furthest right here. 221. Yeah, so this guy is the furthest. So in the middle, I got a 2.2. 2.2 there. All this is MOA. So, and then over here on the corner, let me make sure you can see this on the corner here. Right there. I have a 2.1 right here. 2.1 at 25 yards with the Sig Spear. All right, here we go at 50 yards. 50 yards with the Sig Spear. Let me make sure you guys can see this. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are the 2 furthest ones here to here. I have a 4.7. So 4.7. And then I have this group down here. Can you see it? So this is the group down here. I have a, okay, yeah, these are the furthest right here. 3.2. Okay. So that is the accuracy portion for the GROM, the Polish GROM ammo. So the best groups that I got were the Zastava with the 10-inch barrel. It gave me sub 2 MOA at 25 yards. And then at 50 yards, let's see. So at 50 yards, again, the Zastava gave me 2.9. Let me measure that again, because that's, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shots. Can you see those? Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The two furthest ones are right there. Right. And so see, that's 2 point, from there to there, 2.9. So 2.9 was the best MOA on the Zastava. I didn't shoot any other ammo. I wish I would have taken, I guess I could have shot the wolf ammo, but I didn't. But there you go. That's that's how accurate the GROM ammo is. And I shot all of it with very similar setups. The Zastava has a 10-inch barrel. The Spear has an 11-inch barrel. And I will say from shooting the Spear with just brass case ammo, like what is it, Bellum, I have got like 1.5 MOA groups with the Spear. So take that for what you may. This is my experience with the GROM ammo and its accuracy.
All right, let's have some more fun. I'm gonna start off with the M92, and I'm just gonna do some drills downrange from the, oh man, I don't know what they call that thing, but the trap, I guess it's called the trap, yeah. So here we go. I'm gonna do two full mags through the M92, and then I'll do 2 mags through the Spear LT. Nice. You know what? Let's see what this ejection pattern's doing. I'm gonna back up a little bit, see if you can't see where they're going. I'm gonna go into the berm. All right. Okay, I'm gonna back up a little bit more. Bam, out. So from last time I was out, I closed the K&S piston all the way. They were going about 10 feet away. Then I backed it out 5 clicks. So it's working right now, 5 clicks opened, and they're probably going about maybe 8 feet away, maybe about 2 o'clock, 2 or 3. So let me take you with me. Let me get another mag. Let's do a mag dump real quick. So let me get it. Oh, all right, let's go. Man, I will say the ammo it feels normal. It feels like normal ammo. I know in Klay's video, it did seem a little punchier, but I guess I am dealing with you know, a K&S piston, so I do have the option to regulate. And I am running a brake. This is the Strike Industries brake. It's just a cheap brake, but it works really good. All right, let me get got another mag loaded up. So it's lacquer coated. Looks like it's lacquer coated. It's kind of green looking. So far so good. All right, I'm gonna try to go a little faster for you guys. All right, here we go. Five rounds, 130. All right, let me try that again. Six rounds, 151. All right, let me get a little closer to the camera. All right, here we go. Six rounds, 152. All right, here we go. Six rounds, 155. Let me see if I can get this so you guys can see this in up close. All right, here we go. Woo! And it's out. I haven't had any issues with it at all, guys. All right, let me actually let's go get the spear together. All right, here we go. Oh man, this one's nice. Well, while I'm here, let's check out this ejection pattern. All right, that was like 5 o'clock. Wow, 5 o'clock, about 12 feet away. Man, they're all landing like 5 o'clock, 12 feet away. All right, put this on safe. Let me get another mag. I'll take you with me. We'll go play close to the berm. All right, here we go. We'll do the drill again. All right. That's 6 and 230. All right, here we go. Six and 158. And I think I'm out. So I don't know if you guys remember, but with the spear, one of the issues I was having with it was that it wouldn't lock back on the last round. I guess 7.62 ammo is somewhat underpowered. Doesn't seem to be the case with this. It locked open. So, all right, got another mag. We'll run some more build drills, I guess. So there it is. All right, here we go. And remember, you can drop the bolt on this side. Bam! All right, guys, here we go. $186. $150. 6 shots, 150. Six shots, 144. Ooh, this thing is nice. All right, let me get up close to the camera and give you a quick dump. All right, here we go. On the buzzer. Woo, look at that. Locked open. So, haven't had any issues. What is that? 2 mags and the other one, 2 mags and this one. I have 400 rounds because I already used 100 when I was out here last week. Let me go get some more mags and we'll play around some more. Ooh, check it out. Long boy, the big 40. All right. So okay, I'm gonna try to do 2 and 2. 2 shots on steel, 2 shots on steel. Here we go. Ooh, all right. So it didn't take a round in. This may be something related to the 40 round magazine. Let me drop this mag. All right, mag is dropped. It's empty. All right, let me put this back in. Oh, whoops. Bam. All right, there we go. Okay, here we go. Oop, did it again. I think it's mag related. So let me drop that, make sure it's clear. It's clear. All right, I'm gonna put the gun down. Look what it did to the, I think it's related to this 40 round mag, maybe. All right, let's try. I've got another mag loaded up. I got a Bakelite. Should work with the Bakelite. So, bam. Six shots. Let's try that again. Six shots. Try that again. Woo. Empty. So, man, maybe it doesn't like those 40 round mags. Oh, let's try it again. I don't like this. It needs to work. I plan on using these 40 round mags for AK Master, so they need to work. Yep, there it is again. Like it doesn't want to strip one off the top. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna put that one to the side. Got another mag. Let me change the angle real quick. All right, little different angle. All right, here we go. Like I said, we typically don't ever do anything this angle, so let me get some shots this way. Woo! Empty. So far, just that issue with the 40 round mag, which it just maybe it just doesn't like the 40 round mags. I do, however, I brought something else out that I can try with the 40 round mag so I can feel better about it for Masters. So I think I got a little bit more ammo in another magazine. I do. All right, let me show you guys this angle. All right, here we go. Woo! 160, 6 rounds. Nice. All right, well, I'm gonna let this cool down a little bit. And let's shoot some of that, shoot some through the Sig Spear. All right, got the Sig Spear back out. Got some more rounds. All right, let's do it. Oh man, this thing feels so good. I do have it in the negative setting. So it only has 2 settings, positive and negative. So let me see if I can change it. No, it's locked. It's locked up pretty good in the negative. All right, I'll keep it there. I usually run this suppressed, so, but you know what? Surprisingly, with this 4-chamber, 3-chamber brake, it runs really, really super smooth. All right, here we go. All right, again, here we go. Okay. All right, let's do this again. Woo! Okay. Let's do this again. Damn! Fastest time, 0.87. Whew! Nice. Whoop! All right, I got the 20 rounders, little 20 round mag. Bam! So I think it was on the 20 round mags that it didn't want to lock back. So we'll see. Maybe this is a little more overpowered than standard AK 762 ammo. Maybe I'll lock it back. All right, here we go. I'm just gonna dump into the berm. All right. Ooh. So it locked back on the smaller mag. I do already have a video for the Sig Spear. I will add it up here, I guess, if you guys want to go check it out. And I was having issues where it wouldn't lock back on the last round, especially on the little 20 round mags. So that's cool. All right, I got another little 20 round mag here. All right, let's see how fast I can dump this 20 round mag. I'm gonna go into the berm right next to me here. So let's see. Whew. 425, 20 rounds. I'm sure I could probably do it faster, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe this is backwards. I don't know. 425, 20 rounds. And it locked back, which is awesome. Whoop! All right, let me go get let me let this one cool down a bit. Let me go shoot the M92. All right, guys. Well, in conclusion, or I guess my final thoughts on the GROM ammo is it's good. It's good ammo. They're trying to keep it under 45 cents, I believe. I haven't really had any issues. The issue I was having with the 40 round mag, I think it's, I needed to close off the KNS piston. It wasn't taking another round off the top. So I think that's a mag issue. Aside from that, I ran 200 rounds through the Spear. No issues. Seemed to lock back on the 20 round mags, which was good. And then on the M92, aside from the 40 round mags, it ran smooth. What I would say also is that clean your rifles, guys. That would be the only thing. If you already know it's a little corrosive, so I would definitely try to just clean your rifles a little bit more often. So with that being said, I'm gonna burn the last few mags through it, and then I will catch you guys later. Woo! All right, got one more mag. It's nice, very nice. Let me try to do this one on the clock. Well, there it is, guys. GROM, Polish GROM ammo. Worked for me. Big shout out to Blaine again with Atlantic Firearms for putting this out there for us YouTubers to try out and get the message out about the ammo. All right, guys, that's all I got. See ya. Hey, just kidding, I'm back. Hey, so another tip is that when I shoot corrosive stuff, afterwards I just put some regular stuff. So this is some regular wolf ammo. This is in the 40 round mag. So I'm just gonna run some of this 40 round ammo through the rifle. To me, it seems to help clean it out, but I'm still gonna clean it once I get home. All right, so here we go. Wolf ammo. Woo, see what I mean? So I think when I mess with the K&S piston, it's not stripping that next round off the top, but if you rack it, it'll take the next round off. So yeah, I think that's what it's doing. I don't know, you guys that know more than me, maybe comment down below what you guys think is causing for it not to take another round in to the mag. Woo! All right, got one more. This is wolf. All right. Let me get this one on the midas. Empty. All right, guys. That's all I had. All right, time to clean up the spear. I also got some of that wolf ammo, and I'm curious to see if maybe it doesn't lock back on these 20 round mags. All right, so let's do this. All right. All right, so it locked back on that one. Aha, look, it didn't lock back on this mag. So that's what I was running into with the wolf ammo. Sometimes it doesn't lock back, sometimes it does, but it didn't have any issues with the GROM ammo. So that leads me to believe that the GROM is a little spicier, a spicy meatball. All right, later, guys.